Crown Chats. I'm so excited to welcome today's guest. She is a top Hallmark makeup artist and has worked on some of the biggest movies of the past decade, including Where Are You Christmas, Next Stop Christmas, Holiday Touchdown, Mystic Christmas, Trivia at St. Nick's, and so many more. Please join me in welcoming Averi Lee!
Woo! Thank you for joining Crown Chats, Avery. We're happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So tell me a little bit about your background. How is it that you became interested in makeup and therefore were able to turn that into a career path?
When I was in high school, I thought I wanted to go into fashion design. Watch out, Keith costumes. But I decided last minute that I was really more interested in the beauty section, and that's what kept drawing me. So I decided March of my senior year of high school, I was going to send myself to New York City. Saved up, went to school for about a year, and then my teacher had asked if anyone was available to help out on a movie there. And I was like, sure, why not? And helped out, and it just kind of kept going from there. Producers would be like, oh, you helped out here, can you help out there? And it just kept snowballing. And then they were like, do you want to do a Hallmark movie? And I was like, sure, why not?
So you were the glam expert. Tell us, what is it that makes the perfect Hallmark look?
So Hallmark glam to me is like the girl next door. She's not super glam, but she's just this elevated pretty. And I think it's also a pretty that is very attainable to anyone. You can feel yourself inside that role. It's like a perfected version of you. And I also think sometimes a good lip gloss definitely helps.
So we were told from a costume designer that they dress for the face. So therefore, with your role in leading the makeup and glam department, what is that process like on a standard Hallmark movie? Are you working with the directors and producers on their vision? Are you collaborating with the costume departments on kind of matching color palettes or what the overall look should be? Do you work with the actors on what their ideas or preferences are? Kind of, what is your role in facilitating all of that?
When I work, I like it to be a team effort. I like to talk to each department and director and producers to see what their vision is. A lot of times, I will say with Hallmark, it is a lot of conversation between myself, the costume designer, the hair department, and the executives or producer who is in charge, the creative producer, because everyone has their own opinion. And a lot of times my job is to marry everyone's opinion and show it best in the best way possible or the best light possible. Although I will say I have been fortunate to work with Keith Costumes a ton, and we do powwow a lot what his visions are, and then I will go off of that and try to marry the two together. So when you see it on screen, it might not scream like, oh, it matches, but it is a harmony from head to toe.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, everybody wants the best product and to everybody to look their best. And I have to say, you guys seem to be a dynamic duo of a team because you have some of the best looks of the decade. And why awards aren't raining your way is a question I have anyway. So,
Oh,
uh,
All right, we need advice. So I'm sure many people out there like me are not makeup experts. And I feel when I get to like an Ulta or a Target, I am overwhelmed by the amount of products to look through and choose from. What are some of the specific beauty products that are worth investing in or spending a little more on? And which ones are perfectly fine to buy at your local drugstore?
my top products that I would say spend your money on skincare, because you can't have a good face without a good base. So find what works for you, talk to an expert, go to a dermatologist, find your best friend who's really addicted to skincare. And then I would say, hmm, it's difficult because drugstore products have come such a long way. And normally I'd say get a good foundation, but I'm wearing a L'Oreal foundation today, and that's my current favorite. I would almost say a good concealer. A good concealer can hide all of your sins, all of your worries, your restless nights. And I feel like drugstore hasn't fully caught up to a high-end concealer. Those would be my top two, skincare and concealer. Spend your money there. Lipstick, foundation, you can get a really good drugstore dupe, as they call it.
So you've worked on some of the major Hallmark movies of the past decade and therefore got to do the makeup for some of the top Hallmark actors and actresses. Do you have any fun behind the scenes stories or memorable moments that you care to share about them?
Oh God, how much time do you have?
All the time you need.
I mean, I've been very lucky, I have to say. All of the actors and actresses I've worked with, especially the Hallmark ones, have been a dream. I am in contact with pretty much all of them to this day. Jessie Schramm, which I did Mystic Christmas, I ended up doing her wedding right after that. I got to fly out and do the makeup for her wedding and attend. We have so many endless stories. She was trying to make a shirt for us that was Seal, the singer, as a seal, which didn't happen, but ended up being on the Super Bowl commercial for this weekend, which I sent her, and we were dying of laughter. I have a video, maybe I'll post it, of her singing and throwing candy at my head. Oh my goodness. Hunter King, obsessed with her, lifelong best friends, now that we've met. Oh my goodness. I mean, I think we posted the video. She used to like do my hair in the trailer when we had downtime. We would just be, she would bring me coffee, or like she'd come in and be like, we both were Diet Coke addicts. So she would bring me a Diet Coke or like a matcha. And like each day we'd bring each other like little sweet treats to like hype up because we had such long, hot shooting days in Kansas City.
And that brings us to our final segment, which I like to call a little crown to crown, which is simply a rapid fire response of I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to give me the first topic that comes to mind.
So first, starting something simple. Favorite holiday?
Halloween.
Mine too. If they made a Hallmark movie all about the life of Avery, who would play you?
Jennifer Coolidge.
What is your dream event to do makeup for?
I would have to say I was very lucky to do some of the PR work with Hunter for Holiday Touchdown for her interviews this year. So I want to say more or of that, or I would love to do makeup, be one of the makeup artists on the Hallmark cruise. So I got to see a lot of my friends that I haven't gotten to see in a long time.
If the roles were reversed and one of the Hallmark stars had to do your makeup, who would you choose?
It would have to be Hunter, only because she's already done my hair, so I already trust her. Even though a lot of the women are very skilled at doing their own makeup.
They learned from the best, but that's why. Other than glam, what is another great skill or talent that you could contribute on the set of a Hallmark movie?
It would have to be, makeup artists are pretty much your therapists on set. They come in the morning, we set the tone for the day, we make sure they're happy, they're laughing. If there's any issues on set, I've helped with actors who've had like anxiety attacks in the middle of shooting or medical issues. Like we're just there, we're your support. So that would be probably the biggest one. It comes in handy all the time.
And lastly, a favorite charity or event that you'd like to give a special shout out to that holds a place in your heart.
Is the Look Good, Feel Better, which is a global cancer support program dedicated to restoring the confidence and self-esteem of people during cancer treatments. They teach people proper techniques, safe techniques, and effective techniques on how to address appearance-related side effects of their cancer treatment. So that way they feel better, they give them the tools, and when you feel better, when you look better, you feel a lot better, even if it's just all in your head. It does, mind over matter does a lot.
And that wraps us up. Thank you so much for your time today. I have learned so much. There's so much value to what you do in making people look good and feel good. And of course, that perfect touch of a great lip gloss. Before we go, can you please tell everybody where they can find and follow you to keep up with all things Averi Lee?
You can find me on Instagram at Averi Lee MUA.
And thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of Crown Chats. Be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow me, Haley, or at Crown the Halls on Instagram. And until next time, wear your crown. Your crown may tilt, may it never fall, but you are beautiful and you are strong.